What is up, baseball fans? Welcome to our weekly Out of the Park baseball stream here on twitch.tv/OOTP Developments. I am Associate Community Manager Chris Jardine, a.k.a. Snaggle J, and this week I have the distinction of being joined by who I believe is probably the best boss in the entire world, the full-fledged community manager of Out of the Park baseball, none other than TJ Lauerman, a.k.a. That Sports Gamer, who has a mild cold. TJ, how's it going? Are you on the mend?
I'm feeling good. I got a bowl of noodle soup in front of me right now. I got some water. I got some crackers. Hold on. I gotta go.
Okay. So we are going to be this week finishing up the Hall of Very Good tournament. Now, if you guys were not here last week, let me throw the bracket on the screen. We partnered with the contributors over at the Hall of Very Good podcast, and they submitted who they feel was their favorite teams of all time. And I have to say, it was probably the most exciting 2 hours that we've ever had on the channel, as we went through the 4 first-round matchups and had 3 of these 4 games go to extra innings, including a 17-inning affair in which the 68 Tigers outlasted the 73 Mets. The 95 Braves, as you can see, beat the 2016 Cubs. I believe that game was in 11 innings. They won 3-1. The 86 Mets defeated the upstart 82 Mariners, which also took extra innings as the Mariners stormed back in the 9th inning to tie that game up, but the Mets eventually won it in extras. And the 82 Brewers beat the 2004 Red Sox in the only game that was completed in the regulation 9 innings. So this week, we're going to have a nice 90-minute stream where we are going to go through the semifinal matchups between the 86 Mets and the 82 Brewers, and the 95 Tigers the 95 Braves and the 68 Tigers, and then we will have the final immediately after that. And tonight we will crown our first ever Hall of Very Good Celebrity Tournament champion. As we said last week, guys, if you want to check out the Hall of Very Good, you can go check them out on Twitter at HOVG. You can find them on Facebook at facebook.com/Hall of Very Good. And you can check them out online at thesportsdaily.com/Hall-of-Very-Good. So let's jump in. We have the first matchup all set up here. So the 82 Brewers will be the road team, and the 86 Mets with their 108 wins, which is absolutely insane, will be the home team. As I try to multitask and do it very poorly. There we go. All right, so let's jump in. So we got to set up. Again, guys, we're doing this all within the historical exhibition mode, which is right on the main page when you load up OOTP 18. You can literally select any teams from 1901 to modern times. You can pick the year, you can pick the team. It'll give you the record of the team. It'll give you a little recap of that season as well. Then you can go down in the bottom here. You can select 1 to 9 games. So if we were to set it to say 5 games, it lets us select the configurations as well. If we're going to go home and away, if it's going to be 2-2-1, 1-2-2. The game era and strategy. So you could use the default modern era setup, or you can use the settings from either year that the teams have, what you want your active roster to be, and whether or not injuries are enabled. So for this, obviously, we're going with 1 game with injuries in, and we are using the modern era strategy just to kind of keep everything on the same level. We're going to hit our create exhibition. That's going to take us in to where we'll be able to view the lineups and everything that we need. Just 1 second. Thought maybe I was going to sneeze there. All right. So let's go to play ball. And that'll take us. So here we have Don Sutton is going to be starting for the 82 Brewers at 17-9 with a 3.06 ERA. He's going to be going up against Dwight Doc Gooden, 17-6 with a 2.84 ERA. We'll hit play, and that's going to take us where we'll be able to go through our starting lineups. All right. So lineups for the 82 Brewers. Going to have Paul Molitor leading off, playing third base. Jim Gantner batting second, playing second. Robin Yount batting third, playing short. Cecil Cooper batting fourth and playing first base. Ted Simmons is going to be batting fifth, doing the catching. Ben Ogilvie playing left field, batting sixth. Charlie Moore batting seventh and playing right field. And Marshall Edwards batting eighth and playing center field. And the pitcher, Don Sutton, will hit ninth. For the 86 Mets, we're going to have Lenny Dykstra leading off and playing center field. Wally Backman batting second, playing second. Keith Hernandez is going to be batting third and playing first. Darryl Strawberry will be batting fourth and playing right field. Kevin Mitchell will be batting fifth and playing left field. Gary Carter doing the catching, batting sixth. Ray Knight be batting seventh and playing third. Batting eighth, Howard Johnson playing shortstop. And Dwight Gooden, the starting pitcher, is going to bat ninth. So here we go. Let me know in the chat who you guys think is going to move on to the finals of the Hall of Very Good. Do you think it's going to be the 82 Brewers, or do you think it is going to be the 86 Mets? Two very evenly matched teams. I think what it's going to come down to is starting pitching. Can Don Sutton match the overpowering pitching repertoire of Dwight Gooden? I think that's what it's going to come down to. I think if Sutton can hang with Gooden and keep them in the game, that they may have a chance. Turn that down some. There we go. Let's do this. Excellent. All right. So leading off for the 82 Brewers is going to be Paul Molitor. 52 degrees here in New York at Old Shea Stadium. Molitor strikes out to start the game, so Gooden starting it off with a K. Here's Gantner. He hits a ground ball to first. That's going to be picked up and handled by Keith Hernandez for out number 2. Here's Robin Yount. He walks. So Yount at first with 2 out. Cecil Cooper up now. He hits a ground ball in the hole, picked up by Hernandez over to Gooden. And the Mets get out of the top of the first. We'll go to the bottom of the first now. Don Sutton facing the leadoff hitter, Lenny Dykstra. And he hits a hard ground ball to first, and that's going to be an out. The first baseman picks it up. Cooper flips it to Sutton for the first out of the inning. Here's Bachman. He hits a liner over the second baseman's head and into right center field, and that's going to be the first hit of the ball game. Wally Bachman with a 1-out single. Keith Hernandez going to jump in here. Oh, and that ball is going to get past the catcher, go all the way to the backstop. Bachman moves up to second. Why does it keep loading? All right. So Hernandez now, 2-0 count, runner at second with 1 out. He hits a high fly ball deep to right field. That one is back, but on the run is Moore. He makes the play. Bachman will tag up and go to third now. And he'll be there with 2 out. And Darryl Strawberry at the plate. Here's the pitch from Sutton. And he strikes out Strawberry to end the inning. So the Mets get a runner to third. And they will go no further. After 1 inning, no score. Here's Gooden back at it. That's a pop-up in the infield. Looks like the first baseman, Keith Hernandez, is going to make the play. Here's Ben Ogilvy. And he loops one into center field. That's going to be over the shortstop's head for a base hit. First base hit of the day for the Brewers. The Mets team that realized the... Charlie Moore. 1 out, 1 on. He strikes out. Second strikeout of the game for the Doc. Marshall Edwards now is going to come up to the plate. He rips one down to first base, but Hernandez picks it up. Takes it himself. That's going to end the inning. Mets are going to come up here in the bottom of the second. Kevin Mitchell. The only thing, the prodigal boss has returned. I'm glad you're back. You were missed. And you're probably... there you go.
Small dog issue I had to attend to.
Okay, small dog. You haven't missed much. Bottom of the second. No score still. I have a question for you. Do you remember Kevin Mitchell for anything other than that ridiculous barehanded catch he made when he played for San Francisco?
I remember he was a big dude.
Yeah.
And I remember his 91 Topps card that was on San Francisco.
Yeah. All I think of him was that catch he made. He just singled the center field to lead off the bottom of the second. And that brings in Gary Carter. And Gary Carter hits a single up the middle, so that's going to be first and second. Nobody out. This 86 Mets team, they were legit. They could mash the baseball. I think a lot of people gave a lot of credit to their pitching, but they could hit. They had a lot of guys that could, as Ray Knight strikes out, of course, with first and second. So that brings up Hojo. First and second, 1 out. He rips it to first. They're going to go to second for 1, and that's it. So that's going to be first and third now. 2 down. And the pitcher, Doc Gooden. See if he can come through with a small miracle. And he strikes out. So they get a runner as far as third. But after 2, scoreless. TJ, did you have any predictions before this game started? Who you thought, with what you know about these teams, who you thought may have had the upper hand?
I think you got to give the upper hand to those 86 Mets. Those were that was a real good team. This Brewers team also, I believe, is the only team in the Final Four that did not win the World Series. So I think we got to go Mets here. Also, quality bull McDowell Orozco.
Yeah,
insist. They got the whole package here.
Yeah, I felt like the only way the Brewers would have a chance would be if Sutton could match Gooden. I mean, Sutton was good, but I mean, just the way Gooden was in the mid '80s. I mean, he was basically unhittable at times. So Brewers now with a runner at second as Kevin Mitchell just made an error. So a single and an error for Jim Gantner, and that brings Yount up with 2 out. And he hits a high fly ball back deep to left field, and the Brewers strike first. Robin Yount with a 2-run home run, 375 feet to left field. And it is 2-0 Milwaukee. So just like that, all of our predictions out the window.
Yeah. Yount only had 29 home runs that season, but this Brewers team did have 3 guys with 30 or more.
Crazy.
So he was right on the cusp there.
Crazy.
But Cooper Ogilvy, and Gorman Thomas all were big boppers that year for him.
Crazy. I mean, we proved in the first game last week that literally anything can happen in these simulations. Any team can win a game. I mean, those Mariners, who were a 76 and 86 team, the 108 win Mets needed extra innings to beat them. That's just how baseball can be. I mean, it all matters on who shows up in a 1-game scenario. Anything can happen. The Brewers still threatening here in the top of the third. First and second now with 2 out. But Ogilvy will ground out into the shift to end the inning. So 2 runs on the Robin Yount home run. The Brewers lead 2-0. Can't say I saw this coming. But again, that Brewers team could hit.
Yeah, and as you said, in a one-run game, literally anything's possible. That's why we play full series in the playoffs. Oh, no, just leave it up to one big game.
Exactly. These and I was showing them before we started that you can use the historical exhibition to run up to 9-game series between literally any major league teams from 1901 to 2016. It's absolutely fantastic. So we can do things like this tournament, and it's very, very easy to set up. Keith Hernandez. I was just going to say, Keith Hernandez with
16 and 16. I was going to say, and our championship that we did.
That was like
almost 2 years ago now.
That was like the greatest team of all time.
Yeah, we took around the country to pick their best baseball teams of all time, put them in a battle, and I believe the 27 Yankees came out on top, as I would expect they would, being one of the greatest teams of all time.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. No, I don't disagree with that, not even a little bit. There we go. All right. Nothing for the Mets in the bottom of the third, so we're off to the fourth. Still 2-0. Charlie Moore leads off the top of the fourth with a base hit for the Brewers. Immediately threatening again. Gooden already at 79 pitches with nobody out in the top of the fourth. He strikes out Marshall Edwards, and that's going to bring Don Sutton to the plate.
Yeah, that's not great, but that Mets team has a pretty deep bullpen.
They do.
So they can get through some innings.
They did not hesitate to pull Dwight Gooden against the Mariners in the opening round, and it actually backfired because I believe it was Roger McDowell got lit up by the Mariners. Molitor deep down the right field line, but Strawberry's going to get there and make the play to end the inning. So they strand a runner. They lead 2-0. 88 pitches through 4 for Gooden.
And speaking of the 16 championship, if you go over to youtube.com/OOTP developments, you can watch the archive over there.
Yes.
I think we even have a playlist for it.
I believe that is correct. Sutton starts the bottom of the fourth with a strikeout of Kevin Mitchell. And then Gary Carter hits a weak grounder to short for out number 2. Sutton pretty economical with his pitches so far. 2 outs into the fourth. He's at 54. Just as I say that, Ray Knight with a base hit. I never thought of Ray Knight as a 300 hitter, but there it is right there on paper for the world to see. Here's Hojo. Hits that one down the right field line. That's going to be a long run. But Moore's going to get there. So after 4, the Brewers lead 2-0. Man. And it's going to be Dwight Gooden back to the mound. Jim Gantner leading off the top of the 5th. And he hits a little dribbler back to the mound. Here's Yount. And he has his second hit of the ball game as he wraps a single into left field. Taking a look and see. Pretty deep. All right. So here's Cooper, 1 out. Robin Yount at first base. It's going to be hit to second, but they're going to take 1 out at first. So Yount moves up to second. 2 out now for Ted Simmons.
Speaking of getting hits with Yount, he had, in this 1982 season, he had 210 hits, 46 doubles, hit 331, and slugged 578. Won the MVP, Gold Glove, and Silver Slugger.
I was going to say he won the MVP, if I remember correctly.
Yep. It
was a pretty good year for him.
Decent. Pretty decent.
Pretty good year for him. It's very easy to venture that I don't think the Brewers have ever had a team as good as that 82 team. They were
I would venture with you.
they were a very, very good hitting team, and a lot of guys on that team. I mean, again, in 1982, I was a ripe old age of 0. But there's a lot of players on that team that I grew to love as I got into the late 80s and early 90s. I mean, I loved Robin Yount. I loved Molitor, not just from when he was with the Jays, but I loved him when he was with the Twins as well. Like they just had guys that they were easy to like. They were kind of a lunch pail team, right? They showed up. They didn't have, guys who looked the look, big strong guys, but they just played hard and people are kind of drawn to those kind of guys.
Yeah, and even I'm a little bit younger than you, which makes me feel good because usually I'm the older person on a call like this. I remember more of like Don Sutton, who's on this team.
Yep.
As the Braves telecast, one of the Braves telecast guys.
Yeah, exactly. Keith Hernandez with an RBI double to left field scores Wally Bachman. So the Mets are on the board 2-1 now.
Speaking of telecast guys.
Exactly. Speaking of, is that the in-game? Did the in-game audio just play Stroke by Billy Squier? I don't think I've ever heard that before. Someone in the chat will have to confirm if they also heard that, because I heard it. So anyway, after 5 innings, it's 2-1. 2-1 Brewers. So Gooden back out to the mound at 99 pitches.
Oh, jeez. Someone warming up?
View bullpen. Does not appear so. And he lead off walk to Ben Ogilvy. And then another walk, back-to-back walks to lead off the 6th inning. Not good. Let's go this way. New York. They do not have anybody warming up.
It's not good.
Nope. So here's Edwards, Marshall Edwards, nobody out. First and second. He rips one to second base. They're going to go 4-6 and flip it over. And looks like he's safe at first. So a 4-6 fielder's choice. Edwards beats it out with his 80 speed. First and third. One out, and the pitcher spot, Don Sutton at the plate. And Sutton hits a high fly ball deep to right field, and that's going to land. That's going to score 2 runs. Don Sutton with a 2-run double, and it's 4-1 Brewers. Wow.
Sneaky good.
Don Sutton. I mean, he does have that 30 contact.
I mean, he did play for the Dodgers for quite a while.
He did.
I think it was like 15 years, and then came back at the end of his career.
Wow.
So he's had some ABs.
Yep. Gooden's going to stay in now to face the leadoff hitter Paul Molitor and intentionally walks him. That's got to be it. That's got to be it now. And it is. Randy Neiman, the lefty, is going to come in out of the bullpen in relief of the doc to face Jim Gantner. Two of the next 3 hitters lefty, so it seems like a smart move at this point.
Look, Don Sutton had a hit in 1966 and also 1988.
Wow. That's intense.
195 pool. Not bad.
Gantner dumps a single into center field. Looks like Sutton, with not much wheels, is going to be held up at third. So here's the situation. Brewers up 4-1. 1 out in the inning. Bases loaded for Robin Yount, who has a home run in this game already and is 2 for 2 overall. And lifts a fly ball to center.
Don Sutton. He has one stolen base.
Fly ball to center. He tags up. Here comes the throw from Dykstra, and he pegs Don Sutton out at the plate. An 8-2 double play to end the inning. That one could be huge if the Mets are able to come back. But at the moment, they trail 4-1. So there you go. Don Sutton gambled there on the sac fly and got thrown out by Lenny Dykstra, who, if I'm not mistaken, probably not the greatest of arms out there. Oh, he's got 75 in the game.
Yeah, it's not bad.
All right, so he pegged him down hard. Sutton, 83 pitches as he kicks off the 6th inning here. So he's getting a little up there. Kevin Mitchell, right at the left fielder, who does not move. Literally did not move and makes the play. And then Gary Carter hits a single to right. So the Mets have something going. Gary Carter, I loved. Gary Carter was like my idol growing up.
Look, I will tell you what. I don't know if they have him on the roster in this one. Doug Jones pitched for the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers.
Okay. The Doug Jones.
The Doug Jones. You may remember him from leading the league in games finished for the 92 Astros, as well as the 97 Brewers, as well as not being able to break glass with his fastball.
Doug Jones, not on the roster for this game.
But another sweet mustache.
Very sweet. I always remember him from all of his rocky seasons with the Tigers. Towards the latter days of his career. When it seemed like every day he feared for his job.
Nope, you're talking about someone else.
It's not Doug Jones? Who am I thinking
Nope.
of?
I don't know, buddy. Brought it back.
Doug Jones never played for the Tigers? I mean, you could be right. Maybe that's why I don't remember Doug Jones. That's why I don't remember Doug Jones that well.
He had a big mustache and a slow fastball, but effective.
Okay. Well, hey, can't go wrong with that. I mean, he did have a great mustache. That is not debatable.
Well, now we got to figure out who you're talking about. What Tigers team are you talking about?
I'm trying to think of who this guy was. I'm thinking a big dude with a mustache.
Big dude with a mustache on the Tigers. If anybody wants to help us out here with big dude with a mustache on the Tigers.
I feel like oh yeah, no, now I feel like I almost
gotcha. You're thinking Todd Jones.
Todd Jones. Yes.
May or may not be related.
Yes, Todd Jones. That's who I'm thinking of. There you go. That solved that problem.
He's the pitching coach somewhere, if I'm not mistaken.
Back to the game at hand. 2 out here for the Mets in the bottom of the 6th. George Foster into pinch hit with Gary Carter at second and Ray Knight at first. And he strikes out. 7th strikeout for Sutton. He gets out of trouble. We're going to go to the 7th. Brewers 4. Mets 1. Bob Ojeda in for the Mets.
Now I want to see what team Todd Jones is coach for.
I couldn't tell you right off the top of my head.
Did you know Todd Jones is the 21st member of the 300 Save Club?
Really?
And ended his career as Detroit's all-time leader in saves.
I believe I knew the latter half of that. I don't think Detroit has a really long line of historically great closers.
Well, they had K-Rod for a hot minute.
Bob Ojeda gets a 1-2-3 top of the 7th. And we're going to the bottom of the 7th. The Mets need some work. They have the top of the order coming up, but they trail 4-1. First pitch of this inning will be the 100th for Sutton, who has done a pretty good job so far. He has allowed 8 hits, but only the 1 run. And if he can get through the top of the order here in the 7th, that would be fantastic.
So mad. I really want to know what Todd Jones was the...
Bachman with a single, and that'll bring up Keith Hernandez. I don't know right off the top of my head. Oh, my jeez.
Someone in the chat knows. They're just not saying.
Hernandez into right field. That falls in. Bachman's going to go all the way to third. The Mets threatening yet again. First and third. 1 out in the inning. And Darryl Strawberry at the plate. That's the only way I can remember. That's every time I see him, that's all I can think of is that Simpsons episode. And he strikes out. 0 for 4 in the game.
He did strike out 141 times that season.
Really?
He also in the Mets. Oh no, I lie. 40. Lie. Mookie Wilson struck out 72 times,
Right.
so he would technically be what 144. So
Okay.
if you doubled it, Darryl Strawberry almost struck out more than anybody on the Mets.
There you go. Kevin Mitchell now with 2 out. He walks. Don Sutton with his second walk of the game. And that's going to load the bases up for Gary Carter. Jim Slayton going to come in from the bullpen here.
I was just going to ask what the pitch count was.
He was that put him over 120. So Jim Slayton's going to come in here to try to get Gary Carter and get out of the bottom of the 7th inning. And that ball is high and deep to left field. That one is back, and the Mets have taken the lead. Gary Carter, who hit a grand slam in the first inning of last week's game, hits one in the bottom of the 7th inning in this week's game, and he gets Doc Gooden off the hook as the Mets take a 5-4 lead. Wow. These Mets.
Yep. Gary Carter was number 2 on the 86 Mets in home runs with 24. Darryl Strawberry 27.
He had a first inning grand slam last week against those 76 and 86 Mariners, to which everyone in the chat said, "Uh-oh, here we go. This game's going to be a whitewash." Ray Knight just got thrown out trying to go first to third to end the inning. And then the Mets never scored another run until the bottom of the 12th.
The bottom of the 12th.
So now, as we go to the 8th, the Mets have taken the lead, and Roger McDowell is into the game for the Mets, and he is going to face the 7, 8, 9 hitters. They have made a double switch. They do have Romero, who's going to bat in the 9 hole, who's now playing second base. Moore leads off with a single. You have to assume if you're the Mets at this point, Mets still have Jesse Orosco and Rick Aguilera down there in the bullpen. They used Sid Fernandez in a relief role last week. One of their starting pitchers was actually one of the first guys out of the bullpen.
Do they have a young Randy Myers in the bullpen or no?
I believe the answer to that question is no. No.
He did play 1 game for them and threw 2 innings. In in 85 he threw 2 innings. In 86 he threw 10.
Okay.
But he would go on to save 347 games.
There you go. Donnie Money strikes out. So Ed Romero, the new second baseman, is going to bat Charlie Moore at first. That's going to be a grounder to third, but they're going to go to first base for the sure out, for out number 2. So now Paul Molitor will bat with the tying run at second base. Molitor is 0 for 3 in the game. Lifts this one to center field. Dykstra coming on and makes a diving play in center field to end the inning. A huge play by Lenny Dykstra to preserve the 5-4 lead.
Doesn't matter if he gets his dirty jersey. Doesn't matter if he gets his jersey dirty, because he can just go to one of his many car washes and get that cleaned up.
There you go. Lenny Dykstra owns a big chain of car washes. Is this a factual thing?
Yes, it is.
And all I remember from Lenny Dykstra was the massive amounts of dip that he had in his mouth at any given time.
That is also true.
Oh, Ed Hearn lifts one down around the foul pole, and that is gone. Ed Hearn into the game at catcher for the Mets in a double switch has homered to lead off the bottom of the 8th, and the Mets lead 6-4. Wow. Out of nowhere, Ed Hearn. Dwight Bernard is going to come in now to pitch for the Brewers and face Lenny Dykstra, the leadoff hitter, who promptly lifts one into the right center field gap on the run. Molitor is going to make the play. Bachman now, who's had a pretty good game. He's 2 for 3. Has scored a couple of runs, and he strikes out. Because I said something nice about him. Bob McClure into the game. Now the lefty to face Hernandez and Strawberry, I assume. 2 out here. And Hernandez rips a seeing eye single into right field. 4th hit of the game for Keith Hernandez. And that's going to bring up 0 for 4 Darryl Strawberry. who strikes out again for what I think might be the fourth time today. But it doesn't matter. The Mets get an extra one on an Ed Hearn home run. And we're going to go to the ninth. Roger. Go ahead.
As a Canadian, you will appreciate this. Lenny Dykstra purchased former NHL superstar Wayne Gretzky's $17 million estate back in the day.
In Edmonton? I would assume it was after Gretzky got traded to LA. So that would have been in Edmonton.
No, I assume it's after LA. I believe
maybe.
Late 2000s.
Oh, maybe. Mark Bruhard strikes out to start the ninth as Roger McDowell records his second K. Here's Robin Yount.
Also, the story of that house does not end up well.
Oh, no. That's all right then. Robin Yount strikes out, and it all comes down to Cecil Cooper. I need to remember real quickly before this game is over. I just had an oversight, a brief oversight. Oversight has been corrected. Cecil Cooper will bat now with 2 out here. Roger McDowell trying to close it out, and he will. Roger McDowell strikes out the side, and the 86 Mets come back from down 4-1, and they pick up a 6-4 win. And they will move on to the finals.
Before we move on, can we talk about Lenny Dykstra a little bit more?
Yes, we can, yeah.
Are you a fan of the show The Sopranos?
I would not say a fan. I dabbled in the show for a little while.
The daughter, Meadow Soprano.
Yes.
The real actress, Jamie Lynn Sigler, married Cutter Dykstra in 2017. Lenny's son.
Okay. Lots of Lenny Dykstra trivia.
He was also drafted by the Brewers in 2008 and played for the Nationals organization until being released June 14th, 2016. Not sure if he picked up after that. He has another son, Luke Dykstra, drafted by the Braves in the 7th round of the 2014 draft, and is now a member of the Cardinals organization.
Okay.
Also, Dykstra's uncles, Pete, Jack, and Tony Leswick, played in the NHL.
Really?
Yeah.
So they've got
remember the trio of Leswick brothers?
So they've got a very strong sports lineage, is what you're trying to tell me.
That's what I'm telling you right now.
They have a long history and very successful history. Like I said, I was a big Lenny Dykstra fan because he played the game hard right up until 1993 when I grew to hate Lenny Dykstra in the series against the Phillies. Yeah.
I remember him as Mr. Dirt and Mr. Clean, him and Darren Dalton.
Yeah, because the Jays could not get him out, ever. They could not get Lenny Dykstra out in that series. Yeah. He wore everybody out, and so I grew to hate him, which is just one of those things. But you know what? Did you know that you can relive all of Lenny Dykstra's greatest moments with Out of the Park Baseball 18? You knew that. I think you knew that. But if you didn't know that in the chat, you can head over to OOTPdevelopments.com right now. Pick up your copy of OOTP 18. And you can do exactly the same kind of things that we're doing. Create your own universe. And you know what? If you just want to vicariously live out Lenny Dykstra's career, you can do that. It's almost limitless, the amount of things that you can do. But now we're back with the moment that I'm pretty sure is the only reason why TJ is here. And that is to make sure that the 1995 Braves can advance past the 68 Tigers and into the finals against the 86 Mets. The Braves, as you can see on our bracket, advanced past the 2016 Cubs with an 11-inning 3-1 victory. The Tigers beat the 73 Mets in 17 innings in extremely, extremely dramatic fashion. But we are going to pit the Braves. The Tigers, with their 103 wins, will have the advantage of being the home team.
My PC also crashed in extremely dramatic fashion, but I'm back.
Oh, that's good. You know what? We were just talking about how people could relive the career of Lenny Dykstra through the powers of OOTP 18, which they can pick up at OOTPdevelopments.com.
Or on the Steam Store.
Or on the Steam Store. Exactly.
Or the Mac App Store.
Or the Mac App Store as well.
Or Amazon.com.
So many places. I have to reset this because I made a small boo-boo and set it to 7 games. Which is... As much as I'd love to play 7 games between the 95 Braves and the 68 Tigers, we
I
don't...
think Adam would like that.
Oh, well, and you know what? Listen, I'm already on the franchise hockey manager guy's bad side because I went 7 minutes over last week. So,
Bad man.
Well, when you're in the middle of a 17-inning game in a tournament, you can't just cut that off and simulate to the end of the game. The chat was not having it at all.
I mean, you could if you really wanted to. But
No, they wanted to see it through. They wanted to see it happen. So
it's called a one of them things. Can't think of the name.
one of them things.
Cliffhanger.
What a pitching matchup in this game. 19-2 with a 1.63 ERA. Greg Maddux
Beast. Straight beast.
against 31-6 with a 1.96 ERA. Denny McLain.
All right.
So the lineups brought to you by Out of the Park Baseball 18. Leading off for the Braves, playing center field, Marquise Grissom. Batting second, playing short, Chipper Jones. Batting third, catching Javi Lopez. Batting fourth, and playing left field, Ryan Kletzko. Batting fifth and playing first base, Fred McGriff. Batting sixth and playing right field, David Justice. The number 7 hitter is second baseman Mark Lemke. The 8 hitter is third baseman Mike Mordecai. And batting ninth is the pitcher Greg Maddux. For the 68 Tigers, we have first baseman Al Kaline leading off. He'll be followed by the center fielder Mickey Stanley and the left fielder Willie Horton, who had 5 hits in last week's game. Bill Freehan is going to catch and bat fourth. Jim Northrup bats fifth and plays right field. Dick McAuliffe bats sixth and plays second base. Don Wirt batting seventh, playing third. Dick Trzeski is the shortstop, batting eighth, and Denny McLain will bat ninth. If I'm not mistaken, Mike Mordecai did not start last week's game for the Braves, but is playing today.
Let me tell you a fun fact about Denny McLain.
Please do.
This is the 1968 version of him, but not too long away in 1972, he would be traded to the Braves. Can you guess for who? I will give you some baby hints. Hall of Famer, MVP, Rookie of the Year, the pride of Puerto Rico, one of the multiple prides of Puerto Rico.
Yes, I still have no idea.
You have no idea. The answer is the baby bull, Orlando Cepeda.
Straight
up.
There you go. All right. I like it. So we made this reference last week about Atlanta having possible weak spot in their lineup with going lefty, lefty, lefty in the middle of the order. But a quick peek at the Tigers bullpen, they only have one lefty in the bullpen, John Hiller. They do have Mickey Lolich down there as a starting pitcher if they really wanted to dig deep. So maybe, because the Cubs tried to take advantage of that by bringing Aroldis Chapman in the 7th inning to go through that Kletzko, McGriff, Justice part of the Braves order.
It's a good part of the order.
We'll see if that plays a factor, those 3 lefties right in a row.
So I had, growing up, I had this entire Braves team on the side, my room side of my bedroom door.
Right.
I had all the baseball cards in their little plastic sleeves.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to I'm not going to put a thumbtack through a baseball card.
No.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I had the starting lineup, and I think I had the pitching rotation. Probably had Wohlers too, all in their plastic sleeve, tacked onto my door, in the shape of the stadium. Essentially, you know what I was doing? I was essentially playing out of the park baseball on my door back in the day.
Okay. Denny McLain gets through the top of the first on 4 pitches. And we're off to the bottom of the first, just like that. 4 pitches. 3 pop-ups.
A lot of people ask me about my love of these Braves and the 96 Braves specifically. This is because, I don't know if people remember, Braves were America's team because at the time, they were on national TV on TBS.
Yep.
So that was like a big deal because growing up in New Jersey, I could watch the Yankees, I could watch the Mets.
Yeah.
That was on all the time. But I was like, nah, I'm gonna watch these Braves. You know why? Because WCW is over here too.
Yeah.
On TBS. So I'm gonna stick here. And this was after the strike. Braves came back. They were great. Don't get me wrong. I feel like I was kind of a Mets fan in like the early 90s.
Right.
I remember like the Charlie O'Brien Mets and stuff like that. And Mackie Sasser. But man, I mean, as a young child, I mean, this is gonna sound weird. As a young child, that strike really affected me.
Yeah.
I'm like, that hurt.
Yeah.
That hurt my heart.
Hey, I live in Atlantic, Canada. I was an Expos fan. I feel your pain.
Yeah, I can understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, then coming back, and the Braves that were the team that I was watching, because I was watching them. I think I was watching them in like '93, like '92, '93 probably.
Right.
And then they were just they were really good.
You know,
That's when everything started for them.
I didn't know much about the Braves in the early '90s, because there was no interleague play, so they never played the Jays, and they only televised like 20 to 25 Expos games a year. So you really didn't catch a whole lot of the Braves. They were usually home games. So, I mean, you might see the Braves twice a year on TV. But when I got to see the Braves in the World Series against the Jays, I immediately was like, I like this team. I was a big fan of. I love Terry Pendleton. Just kind of a low key, really composed guy. I loved Ron Gant. I loved watching Dion play baseball. Yeah. But the pitching staff, like as a guy, I was in the early 90s, I was like a 10, in my early double digits, just kind of developing as a baseball player. And just to watch them shred people apart game after game with Maddox, Glavine, Smoltz, Avery, even when you had Kent Merker out there, like they just shredded people apart.
And they were an extremely young team, too.
Oh, David Justice, high fly ball deep to right field, and that one is gone. David Justice with a 2-out solo home run in the top of the second. And the Braves take a 1-0 lead.
Nice.
Wow. Danny McClain was sailing.
For this team, the only guys that were like 30 and above for this 95 Braves is Fred McGriff, who was 31. Mm-hmm. Everybody else in the starting lineup was under 30.
Yep.
Though Dwight Smith played 100 games, he was also 31. Rafael Belliard was old, Charlie Bryan was old.
Yeah.
But like the pitching staff, everyone's young. This team, it's Maddox is 29, Glavine's 29, Smoltz is 28. They're like hitting their prime in this part. Yeah. Avery's 25, Merker's 27. The only guy that's over 30, or they have two guys technically. Alejandro Pena pitched 14 games. He was 36, and Steve Bedrock Bedrosian was 37.
Grissom was over 32, right?
No, Grissom's 28 at this time.
Oh, okay.
Grissom's 28. Klesko's 24. Chipper's 23. Javi's 24.
That's crazy.
I still remember the Javi Lopez card on my door was the 1994 Fleer Flare Ultra.
Yep. No, they were a very, very, very good team. Like all of their role players were just so good. Like they could trot. It didn't matter what lineup they trotted out there, who was on the mound. They could win. They had the ability to win every single game. Mm-hmm. And if they actually managed to have a game where one of their pitchers was off, they would just mash. Like that was, it's rare to find teams that are that good, that like have a pitching staff that 1 through 5 is basically unhittable most days. And then, to turn around and the one day that you get to a guy and you get a few runs, you go out and you give up 10. And it's like, how do you beat these guys? And the answer is you can't.
Yeah, this team even had Jason Schmidt in the bullpen.
Yep.
Who they would flip around for Denny Nagel in '96.
Yep. Crazy. So, Maddox
they have 3 players in that deal.
Maddox starting to settle in as he just recorded his 5th strikeout of the game. Willie Horton.
He
has a walk. Willie Horton.
I don't believe it.
Willie Horton just tagged him for his second hit. Again, Horton had 4 hits last week. He's 2 for 2 in this game so far. Oh, and there's another hit. Back-to-back 2-out singles. Horton's going to go to third. That's going to be first and third with 2 out. Maddox in a little bit of trouble. He has a walk. He's also hit a batter. But a lazy fly ball to center, so he's going to get out of trouble again. 3 innings in the books here in Detroit. 1-0 Atlanta is the score. Denny McClain has only thrown 28 pitches. Oh, and there's a high fly ball deep to right field. That one is way back, and it's 2-0 Braves. Chipper Jones.
Let's go, Larry.
Into the corner on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
You don't play around.
It's 2-0. Wow, the power for the Braves. And then Javi Lopez follows that up with a single. So even though Denny McClain has been super economical, he's gotten tagged for 2 solo shots to right field. That ball, the wind is blowing left to right at 12 miles an hour. Very noticeable on fly balls to right field. So those lefty hitters for the Braves have a bit of an advantage. The ball flying out of here to right field so far. McClain gets a couple Ks to get out of the inning, but the Braves lead 2-0. So I think it could be smooth sailing for Maddox from here on out.
What's his pitch count at?
He just recorded the first out, so that through 3 1/3 he is at 61.
Well, he's not going to get a Maddox in this game.
But he has 6 Ks. So the Tigers working him a little bit. He needs some quick outs. Well, 3 up, 3 down. A grounder to third and a squibbler back to the mound. So after 4, the Braves lead 2-0. Oh, Lemke rips that one into right. That's going to be caught. So the winner of this game will face the 86 Mets in the final.
I'm excited.
Sitting there waiting. Doc Gooden's got the arm on ice, ready to make another start. Will he be facing Greg Maddux and the Braves or Denny McClain and the Tigers? 1, 2, 3 go the Braves in the top of the 5th. But they lead 2-0. Maddux starts the 6th at 69 pitches and records his 7th strikeout as he strikes out his counterpart, Denny McClain.
Yeah, that 95 season for Maddox was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
19-2 with a 1.63 ERA, 10 complete games. You want to guess how many walks he had?
23.
Good call.
I can see it on the screen in front of me.
You're cheating.
It's not cheating. I'm using my available resources that just happen to be right there in front of my face.
Brad Clontz went 8-1. Let's go.
Brad Clontz. And I mean, Wohlers was right in his heyday then too. That was before he started having the control problems and stuff.
Yeah, before he went a little crazy.
Yeah, like closers tend to do. Before he was replaced by John Rocker, who maybe went crazy in his own right.
And then you know who replaced him?
Was it Smoltz?
I'll give you him. He's on this team, yeah. John
Smoltz, yeah.
I was just thinking about John Smoltz not too long ago.
Nice.
They had Maddox was 19-2, Glavine was 16-7, and then Smoltz was 12-7.
Foolish. Just absolutely ludicrous. What was Steve Avery though? Is the question.
Steve Avery was 7-13 with a 4.67 ERA.
He must have been pitching hurt.
Must have been something.
Hurt the whole season. He was just battling.
And Ken Merker was 7-8 with a 4.15 ERA.
Well, and that's the thing too, like for Maddox, right? Because they only played, like he missed, probably 3 starts.
I'll put it to you this way: there were 3 other starts all season, aside from those 5 guys.
Wow.
Jason Schmidt got 2 starts.
Yeah.
And Matt Murray got 1.
Yeah, because that season was they played 144 games? Because it started late, right? So I mean,
That sounds accurate.
he missed 18. So he missed 4 more starts.
Yeah.
So I mean, he could have been like, in that 22 or 21 win range. Like it's just like a lot of people look there. Oh, he only had 18 wins, 17 wins. Like, but you got to remember they missed 3 weeks of action.
Actually, you know what? Speaking of Smoltz, now we'll go back to it since you brought that up. Let me pull up his stat. There was after he became in 2005, but in 2006 he led the league in wins with a paltry 16 wins.
Wow.
I saw that and I was like, is this a mistake? Also led the league in starts with 35.
Yeah. Durable old Johnny Smoltz. Pitched a long time, but just was great as a starter, was great as a reliever.
6 guys that year in that 2006 season for where Smoltz led the league in wins.
Yep.
6 guys had 16 wins.
Wow.
Aaron Harang, Derek Lowe, or in the NL. Aaron Harang, Derek Lowe, Brad Penny, Smoltz, Brandon Webb, and Carlos Zambrano.
Nice, the big Z. Maddox picks up his 10th K of the game. Here in the top of the 7th, he's been lights out. Grounded to short, another 1-2-3 inning as we're through 7 here in Detroit. The Braves lead 2-0. Denny McLain going to stay in the game. He's only at 83 pitches. So I don't think he's getting pulled. It'd be interesting to see if they pinch hit for Maddox here. The answer would be no.
This season is also the last of his 4 straight Cy Young awards. He would finish in 5th in 96, 2nd in 97, 4th in 98, and 3rd in 99.
So he didn't really, he just wasn't winning. He was still pretty good. Oh, rain is beginning to fall. Oh no.
Also in 96, the winner was Smoltz. 97, he was beaten out by Pedro. Also Denny Nagel may have stole a couple of votes from that year. Denny Nagel finished 3rd.
Right.
And in 93, Glavine won it.
Okay.
Glavine won it in 98. Glavine won it, and then Maddox and Smoltz were 4 and 5.
Crazy.
Not bad.
You just don't see that before that or after that, really.
Yeah.
Like
in that 98 season, the 2nd and 3rd place finishers were both San Diego Padres.
Wow.
Interesting enough, though, one was Trevor Hoffman, and the other was Kevin Brown.
Okay. Willie Horton with his 3rd hit of the game. Maddox now at 109 pitches with 1 out in the 8th. So it'll be interesting to see. That ball's hit to right. It's going to be in there. 1st and 2nd for Jim Northrup. Maddox stays in here. And that is going to be a mistake, as that ball is hit a ton to right field. 1 batter too many for Greg Maddox. And the Tigers take a 3-2 lead here in the bottom of the 8th. Wow. Dramatic stuff.
21 home runs this season, yeah. And led the team in RBIs with 90.
Dramatic stuff here. Poor Maddox had pitched so well up to that point, had 10 Ks. That ball's ripped to center. Marquise Grissom, though, makes a fantastic play. Grissom.
Al Kaline's on the bench.
Al Kaline is batting leadoff.
Is he?
Yep.
I'm not looking at that. That's right.
Oh, yeah, he's batting leadoff. He's a little ways away. So Maddox gets out of the inning, but the Tigers scored 3 on a Northrup home run. And now we go to the top of the 9th. The Braves need a run. And Roy Face coming in out of the bullpen for the Tigers to face.
This was the first season after 13 straight that Al Kaline did not make the All-Star team.
Wow.
Interesting. After 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight Gold Gloves.
Yep. Nice. It'll be interesting to see if Face is only in here to face Javi Lopez.
Face to face.
And that if they go to lefty immediately after this. Because according to this, Face only threw 1 inning in 1968.
Ooh.
And gave up 2 hits, a walk, and a K, and no runs. Nope.
Much different time then.
Staying in to face Klesko, who's 1 for 3 in the game. Lifts that one into right field. That's going to be a long run, but a diving play by Northrup out there, doing it with the bat and doing it with the glove. And now they're down to their last out, and it's the crime dog, Fred McGriff.
Come on, crime dog.
And he nubs one to the mound, and that is going to be the ball game. Unbelievable turn of events here. As I turn my attention slightly to my left so that I can quickly update the bracket with the magical powers of technology.
How the times have changed.
I know. So the 1968 Tigers, sadly for TJ, have eliminated the 95 Braves. I really wanted to see Maddox versus Gooden. I think that would have been a special event to watch.
Rick McNorf in the chat did have a good point out that Javi Lopez never cashed for Maddox when they were together.
That's very true. Perhaps that's an oversight on my part, but we're trying to do best on best here. I mean, that is true, though. Very, very, very fair point. So there is
yeah, even in the playoffs, I think Eddie Perez caught for Maddox.
He did, yeah. They were. Bobby Cox was committed to that. That's what Maddox wanted.
It worked. They went 1982.
That's right. So there you have a look, folks, at the last time we're going to have a look at this bracket. The 86 Mets will face the 1968 Detroit Tigers. Maybe the way it should be, as the number 1 seed will face the number 2 seed in the finals. Wow. Unbelievable. We've had some very, very close games. We haven't had any wild, crazy, extra inning games, knock on wood, yet. Things could still go wild here in the last 26 minutes as I get this last game set up. Mets Tigers, 1 game. Who is going to be the Hall of Very Good Celebrity Tournament champion? TJ, where if you had a $20 bill, where are you putting it right now?
I think I'm putting it on the Mets.
Putting it on the Mets. You think Gooden can outpitch Denny McLain?
I think it's going to be a good game.
I feel like there's something about these Tigers right now that they're just they there's no quit. They have no quit. They have no chill, as the cool kids would say. People on Twitter are shocked at the loss by the Braves. Shocked and hurt.
I think I might have to replace you with the Hall of Very Good Sean, because I was literally about to ask you who the celebrities were that have these teams. He says it's the Jim Brewer's 86 Mets versus Timothy Busfield, a.k.a. Lou Collins' 68 Tigers. The winner to appear on an upcoming episode of the Hove G podcast.
Really?
Sean, throw a link in the chat to the podcast.
Yes, Sean was here last week as well. He was you know what? He was dropping some very knowledgeable tidbits about the matchups that were happening. Very poignant, knowledgeable tidbits that, you know what? Some of it was like, I was like, I had no idea.
It was too much for you?
It wasn't too much. It was just very, very knowledgeable, off the cuff facts. There is a look. I won't go through them again. There is a look at the starting lineups for both teams. We do have a change. Actually, the 68 Tigers have made, wow, they've changed their lineup up hardcore. As Mickey Stanley not in the lineup. Norm Cash is going to check in at first base, and Jim Northrup has been moved up to the number 2 spot, the hero from the last game. The 86 Mets lineup is exactly the same as it was for their game. So who's it going to be? 68 versus 86.
You can find the Hall of Very Good podcast at thesportsdaily.com/hall-of-very-good-podcast.
Yes. Yes, you can. You can also find them on Twitter at HOVG. and on Facebook at facebook.com/Hall of Very Good. As we start the finals, the intensity ratcheted up to 11 right now. Doc Gooden's got to have a good start. Both of his starts so far, he's been very good through the first 5 innings, and then as he gets to that third time through the order, things kind of fall off the rails for him. So it'll be interesting to see if the Mets make an adjustment and maybe go to the bullpen a little earlier.
I'm calling it right now. Strawberry's going Jimmy Jack.
He struck out 4 times in the first game.
Hey, man.
Hey, maybe he's made some adjustments.
That's why games aren't played on paper. They're played by the little guys on your screen, those little palms.
That's right. That's the best thing about baseball is that you can go 0 for 5 with 4 Ks in one game and then go 4 for 5 with 3 jacks literally the next game. That's the best thing about baseball. McLean strikes out Bachman. Here's Keith Hernandez. Grounder back up the middle. So 1, 2, 3 for both sides in the first. This could be a sign of things. Denny McLean with a 6-pitch first inning after a 4-pitch first inning in the last game. Dude's got dinner reservations somewhere, for sure. To be out here just trolling people with pop-ups early in the game. There's a walk. First runner of the game. Bill Freehan takes a walk from Dwight Gooden. Dick McAuliffe's going to step in. He's going to rip one into center field. That's going to be a base hit. Over to cut it off is Kevin Mitchell. First and second with 1 out. And Don Wirt strikes out. 3rd K of the game already for Gooden. Dick Trzeski strikes out again. So 4 Ks through the first 2 innings for Gooden. He lets up a couple runners but gets out of it. Still no score. Here's Darryl Strawberry. TJ predicted big things.
I believe in him.
And he grounds out to the shortstop. On
He grounded
a
out
weak.
hard, though, I feel.
It was weak. His very weak grounder.
I think this respective kind of thing.
It was weak contact. I mean, I'm just going by the 3D model that I see in front of me. Gary Carter down the right field line. That's going to be a base hit. 2-out single for the Mets, and they have their first runner of the game. And that's going to bring up Ray Knight. Hits a high fly ball a mile in the air to center, but it's going to stay in the park. Northrop makes the play. 2 innings in the books here in the finals. No score. Gooden's going to face Denny McLean. The pitcher strikes out. Start getting some freshly painted K signs made up for Gooden in this one. He is just burling right now. Oh, no. A pop-up into foul territory. Ray Knight drops that one. That one could come back. Could come back to haunt them here. Al Kaline at the plate. Because second life. But he grounds out to the pitcher.
Ray Knight did commit 16 errors that year.
Well, he just committed one.
949 fielding percentage.
He just committed one here. Gooden with his 6th strikeout ends the inning. Is he
Ocho had a 904 fielding percentage.
Wow.
That's real bad.
That is not great. That is really just not good at all. Remember, guys, at the top of the hour, the franchise hockey manager guys will be here. They are streaming tonight, right? I believe so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I have no reason to believe they're not. They will be here at the top of the hour with some franchise hockey manager 4 action. I'm sure it's going to be top-notch entertainment. Maybe a slight notch below this entertainment, but very top-notch nonetheless.
Just one notch below us.
Yeah, like a small notch below what you're seeing right now.
Very small.
Yeah, very, very small. That's a base hit into right field by Bachman. Lenny Dykstra goes all the way around to third, so 2 out here. Keith Hernandez at the plate. Dykstra at third, Bachman at first. And that is a base hit for Keith Hernandez, and the Mets are going to take the lead. Bachman tries to run for third. Kaline with the long throw, but he is safe. RBI single for Keith Hernandez, and it's 1-0 Mets. And the inning will continue for Darryl Strawberry,
The beast.
who who hits a screaming hard grounder to second.
See?
But it's an out. And the Mets do score a run, and they do take a 1-0 lead here in the finals of the Hall of Very Good Podcast Celebrity Tournament. Willie Horton steps in here. Hits that one high and deep to center field. Back is Dykstra. But he makes the play, robbing Willie Horton of extra bases. And here's Norm Cash, who hits a grounder to the shortstop, who's playing the second base side of the bag. Nothing like seeing these 80s teams run the shifts. 2 out in the inning. And Freehan strikes out. Doc Gooden is in the zone at the moment. Like I said, he's been in the zone the first 5 innings of every game. It's when he gets to the 6th that things just get a little crazy.
By the way, Wally Backman is the manager of the New Britain Bees of the Atlantic League.
Wow, did not know that.
It's an independent league that, guess what, is in Out of the Park 8.
Okay, there you go. You have a hard time finding something that's not in this game.
It's very difficult. That weird Finnish baseball is not in the game.
Aw. Well, you know what? Hey, we need to have room to improve.
I asked if we can put that weird Finnish baseball thing in, and they were like, yeah.
We'll make some calls. Ray Knight with a 2-out double after Gary Carter hit into a 6-4-3 double play. Howard Johnson bats with 2 out. And he takes the intentional free pass with Gooden standing in the on-deck circle. So can Dwight Gooden help himself out here? Nope. He grounds out 1-3.
Come on, Doc.
So we have 4 innings in the books.
Look, Doc was a career 196 hitter.
Well, he couldn't get it done there.
Not bad.
Gooden.
Though in 1986, he hit 86.
Okay.
That's pretty bad.
That's not great.
He went 7 for 81.
Right now, he's just concerned about having these 68 Tigers on absolute lockdown. And just as I say that, he gives up a base hit.
Of course.
That's just the way. Trzaskowski's going to bat. The pitcher, Denny McClain, on deck.
They call him Chris Jinx Dean.
Yeah, that's me. Granite to third. Knight has no play. So an infield single. That'll be first and second for the pitcher, Denny McClain, who tries to bunt, but misses. And then he bunts a pop-up to the pitcher's mound. Gooden makes the play. So that's 2 out. 75 pitches here with 2 out in the 5th for Gooden. And he strikes out Al Kaline, his 9th strikeout of the game. And the score remains 1-0. The pitch count for Gooden starting to become a problem. Lenny Dykstra absolutely tattoos a ball into left center field. And he's going to lead off the bottom of the 5th with a double. And Bachman's going to come up. Lenny Dykstra injured on the play. Trainer takes a look at his right foot, and he will have to come out of the game.
Ooh.
It has to be serious to come out of the finals. He's got to be hurt. Mookie Wilson will take over as the base runner at second base. Here's Bachman. Again, nobody out. A Dykstra double leaves the game with an injury, and Bachman strikes out. And now it's Hernandez and Strawberry. Hernandez has the only RBI of the game, drove it in with a single. And there's a single to center field, and that's going to be another one for Keith Hernandez as Mookie Wilson comes around to score. And it's 2-0 Mets. Here's Darryl. 0 for 2 with 2 very weak groundouts. And he strikes out. It's not Darryl's day, TJ. It's not Darryl's day.
Game's not over yet, Chris.
It's still early.
Not over yet.
Still early. Here's Kevin Mitchell with 2 out. That's going to be a single into center field. Hernandez will move up to second. Denny McClain.
I'm saying Kevin Mitchell's going to have a big game, but
Well,
it's not.
here's Gary Carter. He strikes out. So another Keith Hernandez RBI single. His second of the game. The Mets lead 2-0 after 5. Dwight Gooden's line through 5 innings, 81 pitches, 3 hits and a walk allowed, no runs, and 9 strikeouts.
Decent.
Got to get through the 2, 3, 4 hitters in the order here in the top of the 6th. Induces a ground out. What? Whoa, apparently Jim Northrup threw an elbow at Keith Hernandez to try to dislodge the ball from his glove on a 3 unassisted play. And then he gives Hernandez he gets an earful from Keith Hernandez on his way back to the dugout.
My God.
Wow. This game is getting intense, folks.
Getting heated.
Grounder to third.
When the Hove G Assembly tournament title is on the line.
Well, that's the thing. They're down 2-0. Frustration starting to boil up a little bit. Gooden has had their number pretty much the whole game. So Gooden finishes a fireworks-filled inning with a 3-up, 3-down. We're going to go to the bottom of the 6th. Denny McLean back out still for the Tigers at 86 pitches. And he gives up a leadoff single to Ray Knight. No word on if Ray Knight punched out the first baseman. At the moment, we're going to go with no. Hojo.
I'm sure he jawed at him a little bit.
Hojo strikes out. That'll bring up the Doc, who bunts out in front of the mound. The catcher comes out, picks it up, and throws to first. And that'll be a sacrifice bunt. 2-4, on the putout. Knight moves up to second. 2 out for Mookie Wilson, his first at-bat of the game. He strikes out. So after 6 complete, it is 2-0 Mets. Gooden at 87 pitches currently. I'm watching it. Fly ball, high and deep to left center. But that will be caught by Kevin Mitchell.
Also, the Hall of Very Good had Kevin Mitchell on their podcast almost a year ago.
Really? Wow.
Check it out in the link in the chat. We'll make sure we linked all this stuff in the YouTube description.
Yes.
Watch it after the fact.
Yep. Absolutely. 2 out here, top of the 7th. Don Word at the plate. And Gooden issues his second free pass of the game. Trzaskowski now with the pitcher spot on deck. You have to assume Denny McLean will be pinch hit for, but it's not going to matter in the 7th as a fly ball to right. Darryl Strawberry hauls it in. No runs, no hits, and a walk. 2-0 Mets. And that crazy good bullpen for the Mets down there getting loose, I'm sure.
I mean, you can look at them, but they're not getting loose. It's literally right there.
I know.
If they're warming up, you'll see them. You're just psychologically outthinking the Mets.
I am. Does it show anything other than view bullpen on the right side? I thought it only showed them warming up when you were in control. But I mean, if I do go to their bullpen, they currently have nobody warming up. It doesn't show me anybody warming up for either side. Maybe there is no warm-ups because it is a CPU-controlled game.
I mean, it all depends on what setting you picked.
I just went with the defaults. So, either way, Denny McLean still in the game. Keith Hernandez at the plate. And he gets plunked. So after Hernandez had the dust up at first base with Northrup, he gets plunked by Denny McLean here in the bottom of the 7th. Wow. This is getting weird.
Interesting.
And here is Strawberry. Can Strawberry finally do anything? No, he strikes out for the second time. The 6th time today.
I'm going to have to talk to the team. I think
2 out for Kevin Mitchell. Mitchell rips that one into left field. That's going to be another corner. Hernandez is going to come all the way around third. He's going to try to score. Here comes the relay, and he is out at the plate.
Oh, you got to get down.
Keith Hernandez trying to score from first base on a double to left, and he is gunned down by the relay. 7-6-2 is the putout. And after 7, it remains 2-0 Mets. Dwight Gooden back out for the 8th inning at 100 pitches even. And Mickey Stanley, pinch hitting, hits a high fly ball to center for out number 1. Gooden has allowed 3 hits and 2 walks to this point, but now is going to go back through the order as Al Kaline is up. 4th time through the order now for the Tigers. Kaline hits it to third. Knight up with it. No error this time from the quite error-prone Kaline. Northrop's going to bat now with 2 out. And he strikes out, which puts Gooden into double digits. Oh, my. TJ is not going to make it, folks. I don't think.
I missed the mute button. Trying to get there.
We are through 7.5 innings. 3 outs to go. That is 10. That puts 10. Gooden into double digits.
What's his pitch count at?
I did not see when the inning was over. It's 100 and...
A lot?
107.
All right.
Don, don't call me Vince McMahon in for the Tigers to face Gary Carter, Ray Knight, and Hojo here in the bottom of the 8th. Mets looking for some insurance. Carter grounds out to short to lead it off. Here's Ray Knight. Knight back to the pitcher's mound. That's going to be a quick 2 outs. Hojo and then the pitcher spot. Have to assume Gooden's coming back out for the 9th. Hojo strikes out, so we're through 8 here in the finals of the Hall of Very Good Celebrity Tournament. To the 9th we go. The Mets lead 2-0. Can the 68 Tigers bounce back? 3, 4, 5 hitters up. Willie Horton, Norm Cash, and Bill Freehan. Dwight Gooden back out to the mound with 107 pitches and a shutout on the go.
I mean, it feels like just moments ago the Tigers had a comeback win to get into this.
I know. And they were down 2-0 at the time. And Horton hits a high fly ball deep to right center. On the run is Strawberry, and he makes the play. Strawberry there, 1 down. Norm Cash, who did not start in the semifinal game against the Braves, is 0 for 3.
Hold on. What was it, the 95 Braves?
Yes.
Oh, no.
And Norm Cash beats it out. Wow, an infield single to first base. Hernandez can't get the ball to Gooden in time. That is an infield single and will bring the tying run to the plate in the form of Bill Freehan. And Gooden still in the game.
Here's the problem.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, are the Braves going to make this, or the Mets going to make the same mistake the Braves made?
Questionable. More importantly, I kind of wish the 82 Brewers would have won so that we could have had a battle of cash versus money.
Oh, Donnie Money. Love Donnie Money. Donnie Money was not very money in any appearance I've seen him in this tournament. Freehan lifts that one into center field. Mookie Wilson coming in. Mookie Wilson makes a diving play. Wow, Mookie Wilson in for the injured Lenny Dykstra, and that is out number 2. 1 out away now for the Mets. And it all comes down to second baseman Dick McAuliffe. Dwight Gooden at 116 pitches, 10 Ks in the game, trying to complete the shutout. And that's a grounder to first. Hernandez to Gooden. And the 86 New York Mets have won the Hall of Very Good Celebrity Tournament. 2-0 in the finals as Dwight Gooden pitches a complete game 4-hitter, allows 2 walks, and strikes out 10 for a game score of 87. And the Mets win. The Mets win. So maybe just like tournaments are intended, the number 1 seed wins the tournament. I mean, that's just kind of how it goes, I guess, sometimes, right? Sometimes the best team on paper is the best team in application. I don't really know any other way to summarize it than that. As we take one last look at the bracket, as I have to hit the save button and exit out. So one last look at the bracket, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. The 1986 Mets outlasted the 1982 Mariners, the 1982 Brewers, and the 1968 Detroit Tigers to win Congratulations to all the teams that participated. Some very, very, very exciting baseball played over the last 2 streams here, as we had 3 extra inning games, a 17-inning affair, 2 ladder inning comebacks, and all capped off by a Doc Gooden complete game 10K shutout. I mean, I really, this has been an amazing display of baseball over the last 2 weeks of streaming here on the channel. Congratulations to everyone involved.
And Jim Brewer.
Whose team is, as the song goes, simply the best, better than all the rest.
But also congratulations to runner-up Timothy Busfield in 2 great baseball movies as well.
Yes, I mean, congratulations to all the guys. Again, this is one of those things that there is literally.
You're all winners.
Well, you know what? This just shows the power of Out of the Park Baseball 18, because we can literally take a group of celebrities who all have a favorite team and be like, hey, let's put these teams through the ringer and see which one's the best. And it's like, wow, we have the application right here that you guys can do that. And you guys can all pick up your very own copy of Out of the Park Baseball 18. Head over to OOTPdevelopments.com, or you can check it out on Steam. Pick up your copy right now for $19.99 US, I believe is the current price.
That's correct.
Also, you can, while you're there, make sure you check out Franchise Hockey Manager 4 as well. A new, very, very fantastic version of your favorite hockey simulation game, which, by the way, you will be able to see Adam and Jeff stream right here at twitch.tv/OOTP Developments in the next few minutes. Fingers crossed that all the technical things are working, of course. Make sure you check us out at youtube.com/OTP Developments. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel there. We do put all of our archives up over there. Plus, you know what? We're into the winter months. OOTP 19 is just around the corner.
It's coming.
So you guys want to get over there and subscribe, because chances are when we have a trailer or some information to drop about that game, that's probably going to be a place that you're going to want to have those quick notification squad fingers ready. Another good place to check us out, twitter.com/OTP Baseball. We're tweeting there all the time. TJ and I fancy ourselves to be fantastic users of GIFs. I think if there was a video game awards for GIF usage by a community management team, Out of the Park Baseball easily would crush the competition. Not even close. And make sure you like us on Facebook, facebook.com/OTP Baseball. This has been our weekly Twitch stream here on twitch.tv/OTP Developments. We'll be back to somewhat regularly scheduled programming next Wednesday night with our OOTP Night Around the World, which starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Time and runs until 11 p.m. Eastern Time. I have been Associate Community Manager Chris Jardine, a.k.a. Snaggle J, joined by our Community Manager TJ Lauerman, a.k.a. That Sports Gamer. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
And the reason that he's the Associate Manager is because he forgot to tell you to head over to thesportsdaily.com, click that Hall of Very Good button, and go give that podcast a listen to. Give them a sub. They're going to have Jim Brewer, and I bet Rich is going to be the one on the show with Jim Brewer, even though I saw him in college when he came to my school.
Yeah, and even though I single-handedly ran this tournament for the last 2 weeks, but hey, I'm just saying. Maybe we we'll have those discussions behind the scenes, right? And I wanted to leave you something to leave and end the show on a high note.
That's how good you are. I understand.
Yeah.
And this week on the Hall of Very Good podcast, they have MTV News anchor turned photographer Tabitha Soren.
Wow.
Make sure you check that out.
Get that one in your ear holes in a hurry.
Yep. And I think we'll be wrapping up the Padres franchise not too long from now, maybe 1 or 2 more weeks.
Yep.
Then I think we're going to try to hop in and take over the '89 Indians and see if we can do better than John Hart did.
Nice.
And maybe get them a World Series win.
Nice. I'm going to be back next week with the 2017 playoffs for the Brisbane Bandits in the Australian Baseball League. If you guys missed our 2 streams of that, make sure you go to our YouTube channel and watch the archives of that. It has been some fantastically exciting baseball. We needed a dramatic miracle to make the playoffs. So yeah, I'm going to be streaming the playoffs in that right here next week at twitch.tv/OTP Developments. Anyways, guys.
Now Sean tells us you can just go to hallofverygood.com.
Can you?
Yeah.
You know what? Hey, you learn something new every day. If you're not learning, you're not living, is what I usually say.
That's what they say, usually.
All right, guys, we are going to jump off. We are going to turn it over in a few minutes to those fantastic guys over on the franchise hockey team. If you are watching this live on Twitch, make sure you give our channel a follow. As I said, we stream here every Wednesday night from 8 until 11 p.m. Eastern Time. And until next time, you guys keep swinging for the fences. Have a great night, folks.